This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
And we got Max Arraj along from the outset tonight. Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, Max Arraj rolling with you on Thursday night. LowcoSports Lowdown, Thursday of the Heritage, round one in the books. JT Poston, I told you I've been hyping him. He got off to a great start, 8 under today. We'll see if he can keep it up. But cool interview with him after too, talking about he's got a new baby, and her name is Scottie.
Ooh,
stuff, right? What a coincidence. We started the week talking about a guy named Scottie who was coming with his green jacket and didn't have his wife here because she's about to have a baby. And now we're talking about JT Poston, who's got a baby named Scottie, and his wife and baby are along for the ride this week. And, he's talking about changing diapers tonight instead of worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. So maybe that'll help. I remember Brandt Snedeker had a new baby the year that he won. I think there's settling presence about that sort of sometimes, where guys kind of reevaluate their priorities and get settled back in to what's important. But regardless, a great start for Poston. We'll talk more Heritage later on, and in fact, we'll talk some Heritage with somebody who had a front row seat. Actually, he didn't get to sit down; he had to walk the whole time. But he was with Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth today. We got Max van Esselstyn in the green room, and if you can get your camera on there, Max, we'll get you in here. And we'll talk with Max. He pitched last night. Looks like he's having trouble with his camera. You there, buddy?
You hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out this.
No worries. We can hear you nonetheless. But so Max, I bumped into him last night. I showed up and watched him pitch a little bit against Buford. Had a good outing, went 3 2/3 and helped the Sharks get the win. And then, I'm sitting at 18 green waiting for the big group of the day to come up. And there's Max carrying the scoreboard. Don't worry about your photo, your picture, if you're having trouble, man. We can hear you.
Working.
But for whatever reason, not working. I understand technology. We have our gremlin issues over here, too, from time to time. But no, Max comes up and he's carrying the scoreboard, the standard, for the best group of the day. And I'm like, dude, how lucky did you get to get this pairing? This is obviously the A pairing. And he tells me he was 7th in the draft, 7th in the lottery. So just tell us about that, Max. I mean, you get there crack of dawn, hoping you get a crack at a good group, and you're picking 7th and thinking, that one's off the board for sure. But there they are.
Yeah, so just a lot of people kind of were in front of me. They just were going for just some other guys that they've gone for before. Like I know Keegan Bradley was probably one of the first ones taken off the list, just because he's a pretty likable guy. And I'm pretty sure.
Well, that worked out okay because they got Poston.
Yeah, and then Thigala was also taken pretty early on, but then some other people were just. I'm not really sure what happened, but I was kind of fortunate enough to be in that group, which was pretty fun to watch.
That's really cool. Max, I was in your shoes when I was in high school. I was a standard bearer, and I did it for a number of years, but it's a really fun experience. What stood out for you? Just, the opportunity to go inside the ropes and, talk with some PGA Tour professionals and, be a major part of this tournament. I loved it when I was that age, and definitely take it all in and really enjoy it. But just your thoughts on the experience.
No, I thought it was really cool. I mean, of course, Scottie Scheffler coming off his win last week at the Masters, the crowds were insane. There was thousands of people kind of lined up at every hole for everything. So it was kind of almost difficult just to navigate your way through like the crowd and just through everyone, make sure you're in the right spot. But I mean, it was just fun. It was just out there. It's good to volunteer, good to just be involved in the community, which is always fun.
I was never as fortunate in my draws for some of the guys. I still had some solid names, but I didn't have the guy coming off a Masters win. So that's pretty cool. Were you able to talk with him before or after the round?
After a little bit, he just thanked me in the walking score for helping us out and doing all the right things. We were lucky enough not to have any issues or anything today, but it was really cool just interacting with him, and especially didn't really think he was going to be here this week because thought he was having his wife was having a baby, but he ended up being here, and it was a cool opportunity to go see him and also Jordan Spieth, who won the Heritage not too long ago, I think 2 years ago. So that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, Jordan, obviously a fan favorite as well. I mean, he's usually going to be pretty high on the standard bearer draft board, regardless. So it was definitely a jackpot today. Do you get to do it any other days this week?
Yeah, I'm actually doing it tomorrow morning as well. That's just my last
Awesome.
day.
Sweet.
All right. So we'll see where
Excellent.
you end up in the lottery tomorrow. I guess they have the lottery's new, right? You said you've done this in the past and it was more of a first come, first serve thing, but I like this lottery idea.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Mr. Schuyler, who runs the whole a lot of the volunteers over at the Heritage this year and years past, he kind of thought of a new idea just to prevent people from getting there like the crack of dawn. Past people gotten there like 4 a.m. in order to get a good group. So
Wow.
I didn't get there too early this morning, maybe like 7, so it wasn't too bad.
But yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Way better. Way more equitable too, because you know that the people who live in Sea Pines, that's not fair to them. Guys coming from Bluffton and beyond.
Exactly.
But how long you been doing this, and who are some of the other highlights of guys that you've gotten to walk around the golf course with?
I think this is my 5th year doing it, I'm pretty sure now. And
Nice.
so I really enjoyed it. I think the first year I started off with, I didn't get too many good names, but it was always fun. Sometimes like the guys you really haven't heard before are the ones that normally you had the best time with, a little more like relaxed, a little more friendly, I'd say. But then other times you get good groups like Tommy Fleetwood and Colin Morikawa, guys like that who are really fun to watch and just play the game and just are insanely like good off the tee and in the fairways, and it's just really cool to see how their game compares to everyone else at the top of golf right now.
Speaking of Lowco or local kids doing standard bearer work this year, our good friend from Hilton Head Christian Academy, the little guy who's always he's not little anymore, but Cole
Lindstedt. I saw him today.
He was with the group I was following for most of the day. I believe it was him, Ludwig Oberg and Rory McIlroy in the 140 tee time. I was with them for most of their round, and it looked like that Hilton Head Christian Academy kid was doing the standard bearer for
Cole Lindstedt. Sure was.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yep.
I saw him at the turn. But yeah, Max, let's shift gears a little bit to baseball, because you had a really solid outing last night, and the Sharks are playing good ball right now, man. Tell us a little bit about this team.
Yeah, so it's been a good year. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure we're 13-6 right now on the season. And coming up, we have a big week: 2 games against James Island, and then a rescheduled game on Thursday against Lucy Beckham. So right now we're sitting in the 2 seed in the region rankings, but Lucy Beckham has 1 game against us. They beat us the first time we played them, and we got to go into James Island on Monday, and they're number 1 team in the state right now. So we got to go in there with some energy, and we've been playing with good energy all year. That's definitely one thing we've stepped up from last year, just playing from energy from pitch 1 to when the game was over. So we just need to bring that energy into James Island and just keep competing. Because last year we went in there and we lost 4-1. Like, it wasn't a huge loss.
Right.
And we're definitely a better team this year. And I mean, probably so are they. They've definitely, they have only had 1 loss in the season. They're playing really good baseball, but just go in there and we can see what happens. I think we got Tyson on the bump on Monday, and hopefully he's been pitching great this year, so hopefully he can keep that going and we can take one from him.
Yeah, and they've been tough to beat, but they've been in a lot of close games. It feels like you guys have an opportunity if you can score some runs. I mean, their pitching's exceptional, but I think their offense is just a tick down from where it was the last couple of years. So, if you can get on them, you got a chance. But they're tough, definitely. I can't wait to see that series. It should be fun. Tell me about pitching last night against Buford. You had it locked in pretty good. You finally left a couple up at the end there, and they got you out. But man, you were rolling good for 3 2/3.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. Thank you. So that was the first start I've had this season. I was unfortunately kind of injured. Unfortunately injured for like the beginning of the season due to like a shoulder injury, but now kind of worked my way back, and now it felt good to start a game this season, especially against Buford. went to middle school in Beaufort, so I knew a lot of kids on the team, and it's always good just to play against kids you grew up against, and it's pretty fun experience. I mean, they bring a lot of energy to the game. We bring a lot of energy, so it's always good pitching in an environment like that, and there's a lot of people in the stand. So it was a good win. We needed that win. Gets to 2-1 over spring break, and hopefully keep it moving until next week when we have a huge big of the year coming up. So
I mean, this is when you want to play your best coming into this series against James Island, and then from that into the postseason. But looking at this team, what do you think needs to be improved upon from what you've seen in order to really take that extra stride to give yourself a good chance against James Island and propel yourselves into the playoffs?
That's a great question. So I'd say just honestly, we've been pitching the ball pretty well, I'd say. Mats just needs to stay where it's at, and pitchers have been throwing strikes. We've all been filling it up. Doesn't really matter who's been on the mound, but just making sure everything else is clicking, making sure we have good quality at bats. That's the big thing Coach Schmidt has preached this year is quality at bats. Like we work charts in the dugout, clarifying like quality at bat percentage. So it might be you struck out, but how many pitches did you see that at bat? Did you see 8 pitches? That's still helping out the team. It's still running over that pitcher's pitch count. And that's a big thing for James Island. We need to get rid of their go into their bullpen a little bit, make sure they're not facing their ace for 6 straight innings and try to get them out in 3 or 4 innings and just get deeper into the game and making sure that if we all play together like that and make sure we have just good quality at bats at the plate, I think we're gonna be a really hard team to beat.
I love that. I love that from a philosophical standpoint too. My favorite quality at bat, by the way, is the 2 strikes plus 3. When you see 3+ after you get the 2 strikes, I love those, baby. I love them. They just make pitchers grind. I know they drive you nuts as a pitcher, right? You get to 2 strikes and you can't put a guy away. Like you just keep having to make good pitches over and over again. It starts to wear you down.
Yeah, that's the worst. But it's really the worst when you're on the mound. It's just like the guy keeps fouling them off. But honestly, you got to think when you're on the mound. For me, I just think back to that hitter's mindset where almost there, I'm a little bit like, all right, he's got to come to. He's like, I have to come to him. I don't have to go to him. He's got to attack me at the plate. So it's just you kind of have to. When I'm on the mound, I just kind of think of the standpoint. It's like, all right, I'm getting tired here, but he's working way harder than I am, fouling all these pitches off. So we just really gotta keep filling it up in the zone, and I know we can just keep that energy going. And even if we don't take one from James Island, we can still. That game against Lucy Beckham is really important as well. And so we just got to really focus on, even if it doesn't go our way Monday or Wednesday, just keep that energy up and moving it on because we have plenty of baseball left to play this season.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been preaching, that mindset of, hey, quality at bats is key to winning games. I mean, I've always done that even during my high school days. Like that's kind of like the mindset you have to have when you step up to the plate is what's the best way to get a quality at bat, especially against a team like James Island. I mean, they have such a depth at pitching. So if you can get quality at bats against a team like James Island, like we said, their offense isn't as good as they have been before. I think if you can find quality at bats against James Island, it will take you far, and you can potentially win both games against them.
Yeah. Absolutely, should be a great series. Max, also wanted to check in with you about your brother Brooks because he's a friend of the show, frequent guest, doing well down at Florida Tech. Have you been I know it's your season, but have you been able to get down and see any games?
Yes, sir. I have been down to see a couple games. I think I've been down to 4 so far, and they're in a pretty tough conference down there. They're having a decent season. They went 4-2 in conference play, and actually start their conference tournament this Saturday against Lynn University. And but he's been getting pretty good playing time as a freshman. Just got I'm pretty sure it's like freshman prospect of the year. So looking forward to kind of like just someone to keep in mind for the team in the future years. So pretty proud of him for that. Just I know he works hard and he puts it all there in the lacrosse field, and I know he's going to keep building. And that team's looking better. They're getting a lot of new recruits in, and unfortunately a lot of seniors are leaving, but I know they'll keep building, and hopefully he'll have a more productive season in years to come. So I'm really proud of him for that. But he's working hard down there. So
and that's got to be a really cool brother and sibling to have because I'm sure you've learned a lot from him, and his success in the classroom and on the field, and it's really rubbed off on you and it's helped improve your mentalities and, in the athletic competition realm, but also, continuing to better yourself as a student and as an individual. So, it's had to be a great experience to be besides Brooks throughout these years. And you guys feed off each other and learn a lot from each other as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I get that a lot. Just, oh, how's Brooks doing? All this. Just everyone I'd say kind of sees me through him. But I mean, that's good. It's good to see it that way. He's a great older brother to have, and has helped me a lot. Actually, helped me a lot, and not as much in the classroom. But sometimes I have to end up asking him help for homework, and just helping. Beginning of the season was hard. Just being injured, kind of hard, not playing, but he was always there for me, even though he was down in Florida. But I really appreciate it. And he does the same thing for me. Sometimes he'll call me after practice. He has a tough practice or something like that. And no, it's always good being there for each other, even though we have similar roles in sports. And even though we play different sports, it's just we're always kind of there for each other. So it's good to have a brother like that.
Yeah, Jan Brady. Poor old Max.
Yeah,
but you're definitely making your own name. He's out of town now, and this is your town now. You're taking things over. But yeah, man, it had to be great to have that relationship with your brother and have kind of that blueprint to follow. And see him succeed has to make you feel good about your future. And speaking of that, what's on the table for you? What are you considering as far as your career prospects or post-high school prospects?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, actually. Just me and my dad talked about that at the beginning of this week. Just definitely seeing how the summer plays out for baseball-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't gotten really any looks yet, but you never really know over the summer. Just hopefully keep playing hard and keep working at it, because I just never know what's going to happen. So hopefully just keep working at it and see what happens. If not, just go study school somewhere and just keep going to ability.
And club ball could be an option for you. I mean, there's never a set time where you have to, even if the college prospects don't pan out, baseball will still find a way for it to be part of you in the future. And it's a great experience to play at the high school level, but just, it teaches you a lot about perseverance. I mean, the amount of time we've talked about with softball players as well, but just embracing failure as a part of the game, and pitching wise, it can happen as well. And it's all about how you rebound. And it's just a fantastic, life skills kind of sport to grow up on. And, it's going back to Beaufort and these kids that you get to play with. How much do you embrace that and enjoy that part of it, on top of growing as a player, being able to enjoy that process and continue to compete with these guys through your time as youths, as young children, and now as high school students getting ready to move on to your next chapters?
Oh, no, I mean, that's probably the thing I love the most about high school baseball. Just honestly, I mean, I'd say a good 10 out of 20 guys on this team I've played ever since I moved here when I was in 4th grade. So we've all kind of grown up together, and so it's just great kind of seeing how we all started off in rec ball together and travel ball when we were young, and now coming together as a team. And that's kind of led to a lot of our success this season. Just we play together so well. We all know each other so well. Actually, sitting here downstairs is probably 3 or 4 of my teammates actually right now. So
who all we got?
So we're Joe Maybank, Fergus Varley, and Hudson Flanagan are all sitting downstairs.
All right, shout out, fellas.
Hey.
And our announcer Bo Gwynn as well.
Bo Gwynn, yes. Love us. Yeah. We love Bo Gwynn. Bo Gwynn's friend of the show.
Yeah.
Friend of Lowco. But we're going through that journey now, as me as coach and my son Truman as player, and we're in 13U, and we with a bunch of guys we've been playing with since we were 8, and have all these incredible experiences, including Cooperstown. Did you get to do Cooperstown?
Unfortunately, I did not. That was the year COVID hit for us.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Yeah, so we're supposed to go, but
That's
that
right.
COVID hit. So yeah.
Were you on Danny's team?
No,
Which team
Toby Colella.
Toby's team. Okay, yeah. That's right.
And they're having a good
there were
season over
2
there,
years
HSC.
that missed out. Yeah, they're having a heck
Yeah,
of a
man,
season.
dude, they're
That was
yeah.
that was a really good bunch of guys. Up through 13 or 14, you guys played together, right? And then it kind of fractured. But man, that was a good bunch, and still is impressive bunch of guys. But well, hey man, we appreciate you spending a little time with us tonight. I know you've been up a long time. You had an early morning this morning and a long day out there walking the course. But we appreciate you, and I hope I bump into you again tomorrow out of Harbor Town.
All right, appreciate it. Thank y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, Max.
Peace,
Good
man.
night.
Max van Esselstyn from the May River Sharks, doing a great job on the standard bearing tonight. And unfortunate that we couldn't get his face on here, but Wes has to go get his charger. He'll be right back. His computer just died, but he'll be back. But Max, great kid, great family.
Yeah.
I was delighted to see him today, and then we're standing there talking, and I was like, wait, you should just come on the show tonight and tell this story on the show and talk about the experience.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
I love it.
That's
I love
really
it when a
cool.
plan comes together. He was thrilled to do it. So.
I mean, shout out to May River as well, because I mean, what a great season they've had so far, and that, like he said, that James Island series is really key, and I like how he put like that game plan of how they can get to those pitchers, because I mean, we've seen it. They played Christian Academy this year, and those pitchers kept Christian Academy to 4 runs. A very good offensive Christian Academy team to 4 runs. So I mean, you look at James Island, their pitching's real good depth wise, and they have some real strong pitchers. So I like that game plan of if you can get those quality at bats, that's what wears down pitchers, and that's what will get you runs scored, whichever way you can get them, whatever.
Yeah, and even if you don't get this, if you don't get them in the first game of the series on Monday, if you make them use 2 relievers, like that,
right?
Making them use a reliever is big. Making them use 2 is massive, because that just thins out what they've got left for Wednesday. And so it becomes a cumulative thing. You got to try to get into that bullpen. You got to run up some pitch counts. But it's a double-edged sword, because good pitchers want to get ahead, and if you let them get ahead, they got a lot of ways to get you out.
I mean, if they can get that win at James Island and come home and play game 2, that's going to be huge. Because if you can make them pitch 2 relievers and then come and play Wednesday at home in front of your crowd for what is probably the biggest game of the year, that's going to be huge if they can get that win in James Island on Monday.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be a huge game. Carlo giving you a shout out. Mad Max says you're the second coming of Joe Buck. Carlo doesn't even drink, so he's not been drinking. Denise Pace loves Max. I think that's about Van Esselstyn,
the other one,
not you. I think that's about the other Max, not you. But we love Max. Max is wonderful people. But let's shout out some sponsors. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports are what keep us going, and it starts with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She is with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowcountry, the Lowco, or help you find a better place in the Lowco if you want to put your house on the market and take a look around. We'd love to talk to you. Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. Homegrown Home Inspections is our official home inspector. Jan Lucas and his team are the best in the biz when it comes to making sure that you're making a good investment in the Lowco real estate market. And if you're building a new home, you got to have that phased inspection. Homegrown will check on it every step of the way to make sure it's being built right. And Mickelson Law Firm is our official real estate closing attorney and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. They have been with us since the beginning in 2017. Ryan and Tiffany have been supporting LowcoSports since the beginning, so we hope that you will support them when you have legal needs. And Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, official hospice provider of LowcoSports and the only not-for-profit hospice in Southern Beaufort County. Just great people over there doing great things at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors. Let's talk a little more heritage because we got a report from from Brady Satcha, who's on the scene this week. Let's see
What's
what
up, Loco Sports fans?
today.
It's me, Brady Satchin, and I am here live at Harbortown Golf Links, where the first round of the RBC Heritage was completed. In the lead, we've got JT Poston at -8, Seamus Power and Colin Morikawa at -6, and some notables: the world number 1 Scottie Scheffler's at -2, and Rory McIlroy's at -4. I'll be down here for all week, keeping you guys updated and with some more daily round updates.
So there's
great
Brady's
job.
report.
Great job,
yeah,
always,
good stuff
Brady.
from Brady.
But I got out there to Harbortown in the afternoon, and I was surprised by just how hot it was over there on the course. It was getting up there, 80 plus degrees, which sometimes you don't see already this time of year. But I was sweating out there on the tracks. But yeah, great day of golf, and you kind of called that one. And JT Poston getting off to the hot start, and terrific on the greens, 2.78 strokes gained, putting, but he tee to green. Was that
he was like inside 15 feet all day.
Yeah.
Like most of his birdie putts were like 10 to 12 feet. He was just dialed in.
Yeah. So
and then he's really good around the green too. So a couple of times he missed greens, but he got up and down. He chipped in at 4. He got up and down from just off the green on all the par 5s pretty much. He just had a terrific round. I also said last night somebody's going to shoot 62 or 63 on Thursday, and then we won't hear from him again. So he could be.
Could be.
Yeah, he could be that guy.
Yeah.
So I think he goes out in the afternoon tomorrow, which that's always. We don't really know anything until Friday at the Heritage, because the afternoon conditions are always so different from the morning conditions. And so the wind blows different directions in the afternoon. And so a guy comes out, shoots a good number in the morning, and they're like, man, I got this place figured out. And then they come out the next day and it's a different golf course in the afternoon. And so, Poston's, this is his 6th start here. I don't think he's going to be like totally flummoxed by playing the golf course in the afternoon tomorrow. I think he'll be fine as far as that goes. So I don't expect him to like just fade away. He's striking it really well. He's a guy who kind of profiles to play well here. So I'm not surprised to see that.
Yeah, he's going to be a contender.
Really, there's a bunch of dudes chasing him.
Yeah, and none bigger than Colin Morikawa, who was sensational today. I got to see a bit of his round, and he really delivered. He got off to a hot start, but he really delivered well on the back 9. Had a couple of key birdies, including one on 17 again to 6 under par. But excellent job with his all around play. Made a couple of key putts, in those last few holes to really raise him to that tied for 2nd spot where he is now. But he's got so many different tools to his game, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can really take the charge on Friday, because I think he's got a great chance to do that, especially if the course sets up in his favor, because he played in the afternoon. Now he gets a morning session, or maybe a late morning session. In terms of the tee time. So I don't know how much more of an advantage that could be, but I think he's positioned well to really build on what he did on Thursday in this opening round. And that's
he
someone
gets a 10:40. He gets a 10:40 start, which is really good. That's really good.
Yep. Yeah, very solid. I also got I was really impressed also what I saw from Ludwig Oberg. I mean, the guy who made a lot of waves during his finish at the Masters, but he was consistently hitting fairways. He wasn't really getting into too many trouble spots. Certainly had a couple of shaky shots on that back 9, but really composed himself well as the round got to its end, and kind of hung in there and made a couple of important birdies and pars late. And now he sits just 3 off the lead. There's a cluster of guys right there at 5 under par. A couple of guys maybe under the radar, but I don't think Oberg is now from what we saw at Augusta. I think he's really primed to be that guy who's going to find a way to push himself into contention in a good amount of weeks on the tour. I mean, that's a nice product all the way from Sweden that has really turned heads last week and now into this week with a really solid opening round 66 out there. So that's someone to keep an eye on. I mean, you look at some names. I mean, I think the names who you really think could take a step back. I mean, Seamus Power, Mackenzie Hughes, Austin Eckroat, certainly guys you didn't expect to be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if one or two of those guys ends up taking a step backwards on Friday. And then we could see some other guys, I thought Rory played. I mean, I think he's lucky to be where he is because he had a couple of situations. The way that he recovered from a couple of big trouble spots and bailed himself out with some really impressive putts to keep him at 4 under, where it could have gone a lot worse. So, credit for Rory for hanging in there and just his recovery and his ability to escape some tough situations throughout that round. And he had a great section as a gallery as he always does out there in Harbortown, and showed himself well. That's a guy who has 1 year in the Lowcountry at the CJ Cup in 2022, so we can go for a rare feat to win at 2 different courses here in the Lowcountry. If he gets it done, which would be a fun story. But I don't have too much stock in him. It was a little bit of a shaky round. I think he got lucky to get to where he is, but at the same time, he's still right there in striking distance. So
he also went birdie on 2 really hard holes to birdie, and then gets to sleep on that and get up and play in the morning. I wouldn't be surprised if he went out and put up a 4 or 5 under and was just kind of hanging around. Scottie Scheffler is for sure still in it. I agree. He kind of scraped it around the front 9. He wasn't really, and he said in his post-round interview, he wasn't really ready yet. Like, he wasn't really locked in yet. Wasn't up to competition speed, and felt like he made a couple misreads and stuff. And he chalked it up to kind of just being exhausted and not having his normal lead up to the tournament this week. And he said he only played 9 in the Pro-Am and didn't play the rest of the front 9. And then he goes out and plays the front 9 and kind of scraped it around. So, I think he was kind of kicking himself a little bit like, yeah, maybe I got a little cocky about that. But he did the same thing and made 2 birdies coming in and kind of salvaged what had been kind of an up and down round. So I expect him to come back a little more refreshed and locked in for round 2 as well.
Yeah. Also, keep an eye on Patrick Cantlay because he's sitting at 4 under as well, and he does real well on this course at times. So that's someone also you need to keep an eye on. One of the players that I was kind of shocked to see where they finished after round 1 was Xander Schauffele. Finished 1 over for the day. I don't know, man. I was really hoping he'd have a real good first round, but again, it's only the first round. There's always a chance you can have,
and there's no cut, so you don't have to worry.
Right, exactly.
You don't have to worry about hitting the number by Friday. Yeah, because sometimes when you have a bad first round, you gotta really, get together or you're done. But now this tournament, you don't have to worry about that as long as you find a way to progress on what you did the first day and get yourself to a spot where you can try to hang around for the weekend. Certainly he's well back. He's 9 strokes off, but if you can put together a nice, 67, 66, 65, it puts yourself in a chance depending on what other guys do. So keep an eye on Schauffele. I certainly did expect a little bit more from him, and especially if he can get that putting stroke to where it is, I think we'll see a better result for Schauffele, because he's definitely a better player than what we saw on this course today. And it's one round, small sample size. I expect him to get back to where he is, the level that he is. But it's a very interesting dynamic to see this, different formats of a smaller field. You only have 69 players in the tournament, and you have 2 double. Twosomes, I guess you could say twosomes for golf.
Yeah, pairings.
In terms of pairings. Yep. So you have 2 instead of 3. And then on top of that, Harbortown, the course and the presentation was a little different. There were some bleachers and stands at different places. We mentioned the improved setting over there at 1 where you could watch the tee boxes, and there are a couple different additions. One being a spectator seating on 17, which in the past it was really hard to get a good view on 17.
Right.
Unfortunately, there were structural damage today, and so they didn't allow anyone to sit up there on 17 or 18. So it was like a ghost town on those.
Yeah, that must have happened midday because I think there were people sitting up there. I'm certain there were when I went through.
Really?
With the post-in group, there were definitely people sitting up there. So something must have occurred. So hopefully they'll get that. They got that remedied after the round today, and they'll be back in commission tomorrow. I was thinking on the drive down there today about the fateful night that it rained and rained and rained and flooded Sea Pines, and they had to move the parking out to Honeyhorn for Sunday's final round, and everybody was up in arms. Oh no, we're gonna have to ride buses from Honeyhorn. This will be terrible. And all the tournament organizers were telling me, oh, we've wanted to do this for so long. This is gonna be so great. And as I breezed down the island today and breezed into Sea Pines, I was like, I'm so glad it rained so much that one Saturday night, because it saved us so hours upon hours upon hours in bumper to bumper traffic trying to get into Sea Pines.
Oh my God.
And it's just so much better.
Yeah.
It's one of the many, small, not seemingly small things, the little changes, the little tweaks that have made such a tremendous difference in the overall product. Because people who remember parking in Sea Pines,
it was hard to get out of there. Yes,
it was horrendous trying just to get in there, man. I remember I went. I'm trying to remember. I think it was on a Sunday. I went. Oh, it had to have been like 10 years ago, and the parking situation. Me and my dad went. The parking situation was so bad. It took us forever just to find a parking spot. It was
atrocious.
It was.
And then you had to walk a long ways from wherever you
go the bus.
Ended up parking, and then you had to walk back there in the dark. Often. It was rough, and it's funny because the tournament organizers basically said, like, yeah, we've been trying to get this done for a while, but people are so resistant to change. But it's just a good lesson in. Sometimes we need to listen to the people who are studying the logistics and the best practices that are being utilized elsewhere, and just let them show us, because that was the single biggest upgrade this tournament has ever made in my mind. It also opened up so much more space in Sea Pines for tournament operations to spread out, because they could still get from one place to the other and not get log jammed. And like media parking was all down there, right down at the end of the Lighthouse Lane, and it was just it was such a cluster. It's so much better now. So bravo us, all of our friends today, Wilmot and Angela McSwain and Carol Bartholomew, and it was just good. It's good to see old friends, as well as old media friends, Tim Guidra and Steven from Getty Images, and all these people that I only see them once a year, but it's like seeing old pals when we walk back into the media center, the Arnie Burdick Media Center, and ate lunch at Arnie's Cafe today. So good times having the Heritage back in town.
Actually, I did find something interesting today. I had no idea. It was just like a little fun fact that came up as I was like going through stuff. Did you know that Sir Willie is the only mascot of any tournament on the PGA Tour?
Really?
Yeah,
I found that out today.
I never realized. I knew he was the mascot, but I didn't realize that he was the only one. That's nice.
Only one on the PGA out of any tournament on the PGA Tour. How about that, man?
Yeah, there
sorry,
you go.
Just wanted to put a fun fact in there for today.
Mascot. That's right. One big upgrade of the media center this year. May have been in there in the past, but I can't recall. But Leopold's ice cream.
Oh.
I'm eating well this week, boys. It's Heritage Week. But,
lucky, man.
All right, we'll get you credentialed. We'll see if we can get you credentialed next year. Keep
Oh,
building
dude,
the
I'd
reel.
love it. That'd be fun.
The varsity sponsors of LowcoSports include DDS Web Design. They build, host, and maintain websites for businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and they jumped on board to help us continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of LowcoSports and the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. They got the Lowco Iron Man, the Reverence Iron Man coming up. You want to get involved with that. They also have a free freestyle clinic attached to that, and there's an opportunity to qualify for the national duels. So get involved. Go check out Reverence Wrestling Club on Facebook. And Dr. Ambrose Cole, the official chiropractor of LowcoSports. He's at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton. Go find him if you want to feel better, mind, body, and spirit. Dr. Ambrose Cole. Those are our varsity sponsors. Let's check out some high school stuff tonight, boys. We had some baseball. Hilton Head Prep did damage on the farm, 12-2 over Patrick Henry. Jackson Stanyard was dealing for the Dolphins tonight. I don't have his stats in front of me, but I know he was given credit by Mr. Ferry on the in the Twitter post. Yeah, he went the distance, struck out 11, 2 hits, 2 unearned runs, 2 walks. So really good outing by Stanyard. JP Perkey was 3 for 4. Cody Hughes, I think, 2 for 3 with a double. C. Hughes and Finian Rooney, 1 for 3, 2 RBIs. So a good showing by Hilton Head Prep. Woodland beat Bluffton 5-2. Buford beat North Charleston 18-0. JP2 9-6 over Thomas Hayward. Carlton Prep 8-4 over Andrew Jackson. And then on the softball field, Carlton Prep routed Andrew Jackson 20-0. And Buford beat James Island 6-2.
Big one.
Yeah, big nice win. 16 more strikeouts for Kylie Rast.
Oh my.
And yeah.
Oh.
And Javon and team were on the case. So we'll check out the highlights from Buford's own. And getting it started. It's a little offense from the Eagles there. I hate it when his camera gets janked up. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, it's
good on Javon to make the trip over to James Island to watch.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Javon's
he said, he told me the traffic wasn't too bad, so he got over there with a little bit more ease than usual.
He just wanted an excuse to go eat some kind of food they got up there that we don't have here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what's up over there. Yeah. I did watch some of this game. Buford played really well. They did really well today. I was thinking like James Island's usually pretty decent at softball.
They're solid this year.
Yeah, they have a solid team. So that just shows me Buford's really ready for their playoffs when it comes around. Because I mean,
I think they've grown up a lot this season.
Yeah.
I think it also shows me that their games against Hanahan are going to be much closer than I think some people expect it to be. Because if they can beat a solid James Island team like this, 6-2.
Who are these people? Who are these people we're talking about? Are there people who think that Hanahan's going to blow out Buford? You've alluded to some people.
I think there's some people that think that Hanahan, being the solid
probably
squad
Hanahan
that they
fans.
always have been. Yeah, there's that. But I also think there's some people who think Hanahan's probably one of the top teams in that, that division of softball. And so, you look how Buford played. I've been up on Buford softball all year. I've been so supportive of them. And looking at this Hanahan one, I was like, it could be a good one. I just need to see more out of Buford. And I think this game kind of showed me that, hey, they can hang with the big ones. They can hang with those top teams. And so I think going into that Hanahan series, I have a lot more confidence in them than I did before.
I got you. I just had to get a frame of reference on that because I guess I feel like they're pretty evenly matched and have felt like it was going to be a toss-up, basically.
I have a lot more confidence that they could actually win the series over Hanahan, like 100%.
I think truly it could either team could sweep and either team could get swept. You know, I mean,
Hey,
I
speaking of
think
which, there's a Javon cameo right there.
Yeah,
sure
big
enough.
Javon, man.
There he is.
Let's go.
I mean, what Hanahan doesn't have is the dominant pitcher. Like they've got a couple of effective pitchers.
That's right.
They don't have the like big blow you away pitcher. And so
Buford
you know,
does.
Edge
That's the
Buford
difference.
most likely.
Yeah.
But you gotta play the game.
Right.
And Hanahan does hit. They hit. They straight up hit.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like that's why I think like I wasn't sure what to think of Buford until I saw this game against them, and then I'm trying to think what the other game was. I think it was their game against Battery Creek when they were down going into the bottom or top of the 7th. And I kind of wanted to see them fight because I hadn't seen a close game for them all season long, and I wanted to see them fight.
Yeah.
And they ended up, fighting, getting that time run in the 7th, and then ended up winning in extras against what is a strong Battery Creek team. And I was like, okay, so I see that they can fight. I also needed to see that they could beat, teams that are above Battery Creek,
right?
Who are, top of their game, really solid programs. And I hadn't seen, there weren't many games you could choose from for Buford so far this season where they've played tough opponents.
Right. They've played some where they were kind of overmatched, and then they've played a lot where they were the one that was overmatching. But
so like
you're right. They haven't played a lot against like their
team.
So
So seeing this game against what is a really solid James Island team, who's among the top teams in their region,
right?
It shows me that Buford can hang with Hanahan, and I think they can actually beat Hanahan.
Yeah, I already thought they could. I definitely think I would almost say they should be favored too. But I guess if I was going to predict it, I'd say split. Both home teams win. But if somebody sweeps, I'd say it's probably Buford.
Yeah,
that would be my prediction, I guess.
Yeah.
But Kylie's now, I think, got 196 strikeouts.
Ooh,
I'm not
wait,
mistaken.
it's the first game. Is the first game at Hanahan or is it
196 and 90 innings? The first one, I think they're at home on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And Coach Rast texted me earlier today. He said, "You got me thinking," so I had to look it up. She had 215 in her sophomore season, but that was in 142 innings. And this season, she's got 196 and 90 innings.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep.
That is nuts. That is just that is another
crazy.
Yeah, that is just a level in and of itself. Yeah,
she also had 2 doubles tonight.
Yeah. It's what makes her special, I think, is that she can be the best both sides of the ball.
She's a ball player.
I think that's what makes her so special, is that she hits
her above
so
the
well
West, for sure.
And she pitches even better. I think that's part of why North Greenville looked at her and said, "Yeah, we want her."
Well, I think a lot of people probably. I think she was probably. I think a lot of people would have been interested if she reached out. Let's put it
absolutely.
that way. I think she kind of locked on a few schools that she was looking at, and she got the offer she wanted, and she went. But I think that probably there would have been a lot of people would have said yes if she had sent them an email with her stats and her clips.
Boy, I can't wait to see them play USCB and see Kylie Rast pitching for North Greenville. That's gonna be fun. I will enjoy that. I hope they come to Hardyville one year so I can see her pitch again. She's so much fun to watch. It's so much fun.
It is. She's a great kid too.
I mean, ever since
family.
that, like,
great family.
Yeah, because I didn't know her well enough until I got to know her at that West Ashley game to start off their season, and I was just like, wow, this kid is special. She is the animal in and of itself. It's just so much fun to watch her, and I cannot wait to see her compete at the college level.
Yeah, she is different breed.
Sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
Carlos
she's
Oh,
such
of
a great
course.
competitor as well out there on the field, and has that extra mentality to just push her game further when the moment arrives for her, and just a great technical player, and the way she can do it at the plate as well. On any moment's notice, can swing the bat and hit one out of the yard. Just those are rare circumstances to see when you have a player dominate both in the circle and then can turn it on at the dish. So it's been really fun to watch her career unfold, and it just seems every game she's doing something that she hasn't done before, and that's saying something because she seems like she's done everything.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh man.
I was also talking with Max van Esselstyn today about Joe Schroeder's hot streak. We were marveling.
Oh my. Yeah.
About that guy. Speaking of people who are doing things that they've never done before, Siobhan bringing it with 10 minutes of highlights.
Very nice.
Bringing it all home.
He did that the other night.
I've also got a really cool video queued up to check out next.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's a good little tease, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love
excited
it.
Now. I am excited.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, nice hit.
But this was a really nice road win by Buford.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice
this isn't this used to be a region matchup, but no longer is. But going into James Island and doing what they did tonight, and with Kylie Rash put up the numbers that she showed out there on the field, it's just this team knows and can have the capability to make some noise in these 3A playoffs. I am sold on what this team can do. It really starts with Kylie. I mean, it will go as far as she can take them in terms of points in the circle, but they have some supporting pieces that have really done a good job stepping up, and this is going to be a really tough team to take down in the playoffs. I'm excited for what Buford softball can do coming up as we get towards that time of year in May.
And also, this gives us a frame of reference for James Island May River as well.
Right.
Which is on Wednesday. James Island won the first one 4-3 at James Island. Rematch Wednesday. Huge game.
Yeah.
And then the other huge one is Lucy Beckham coming to May River on Friday. So May River has a chance if they win out. I think they'll be able to take the region championship. I don't know what the tiebreaker is. I would assume it's aggregate score basically, and they lost by 1. You can't win by less than 1, so they would at least be tied there too. And then I don't know what you get into, but that's going to be interesting. The whole softball. We don't have a lot of top end teams, but the ones we do have are in good little battles right now.
Yeah.
For the playoffs, and should be able to make a little bit of noise. The May River offense is dangerous.
Yeah,
they
really are.
They're swinging the heck out of it right now, and they are aggressive, and they're fun. They're really fun to watch. And then they got Nagel and Caraballo, who can both pitch, and neither of them is like Kylie. But they're both pretty effective.
Right.
They're not going to strike out a ton of people. Nagel strikes some people out, but she's a little wild. She can walk some people too. So if she can hone in her command a little bit, I think they can just outslug some people because they can absolutely swing it, dude. That lineup is lethal.
I mean, they came close to beating James Island at James Island too. It was only a one-run game. So I really expect May River to take this game at home next week. I 100% do, because they've only gotten better as the season has continued. So I mean, I expect them to get a huge win against James Island. And if they do beat James Island, where exactly does that? Where are they sitting right now in the region?
I mean, that's the only loss they have is the one to James Island, so they need to win that. Yeah, and then they'll be tied, and But I promised you a video. I have a great video. Here we go. Ian! Ian running the final leg of the 4x1. Let's play it.
That's awesome.
We gotta watch it again. Ian running his last track meet.
How about that?
Ian.
That's awesome.
Way to go.
That's so much fun. That's so
Rob
cool.
Hanna. Rob Hanna sent that over just after we went live. Said your guy Ian running
Track star. There you go.
finishing up the 4x1, his last meet of the year.
Awesome.
Love it.
So cool.
Good stuff.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Watch out for that Hampton County track team.
Yeah, they got some dudes on that
Yeah.
squad. Boys and girls.
And girls. Yeah, the girls are really strong.
Yeah.
So they'll bring home a lot of hardware, but they could bring home some team hardware from state. But we'll be digging into that more in the next few weeks as we get down to the championship meets and everything. Anything else? Yeah, I mean that was about it. There were a couple of soccer games. I couldn't find scores for them. Nothing. I mean, James Island and Colleton County, I would presume those went in James Island's favor. And JP2 was supposed to play Northwood, and I haven't seen anything about those yet. But we'll catch up tomorrow because it's about time to call tonight. Let's shout out the Lowco Booster Club. They help us keep going and providing local sports journalism that shines a light on our teams and student athletes and covers the heritage every once in a while. The Court Lifestyle Pros are part of the Booster Club. We got Daniel and Debbie Court, who are with Charter One Realty, and they want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. They're Lowco natives, so they love this place and want you to come here too. Wish you were here. Court Lifestyle Pros, Revive Rehab, Women's Health and Pelvic Floor, Physical Therapy. Dr. Ali and Dr. Jen are the best and will help you get feeling right after you have your baby. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets and all kinds of other stuff. Go check out their showroom on Argent Boulevard to see what all they can do for you at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland. Whether you need a haircut or not, you can go get a great style or just hang out for some spicy conversation at Jay's Barbershop. And Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom will get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. So call my guy Chris if you got them dirty floors. And boys, now it's time for our shout outs. You guys shouting anybody out tonight?
I gotta go with Kylie. Kylie Rast, sensational once again. 17 strikeouts. Just unbelievable numbers. What more can you say with what she is producing out there on the field? Dominating to try to push this Beaufort team to an incredible playoff run, and I think we could see that in the cards in the future. But once again, Kylie Rast just doing it all for that Beaufort team, and I'm pumped to see what she does the rest of the way, and hopefully be able to catch her again in person. I was going to, but then I think the game against Hilton got taken off the schedule. That Beaufort team deserves an up close look for sure, especially Rast.
They should have some home playoff games, especially if they take care of Hanahan. So that'd be good. Max, you got a shout out, buddy?
Oh, God, you took mine, Wes. Oh gosh. Let me think here. You know what? I'm gonna go with JP2's baseball program, beating a solid Thomas Hayward team today. I believe they were at Thomas Hayward. I think
they were. Yep.
So they swept that series because they beat Thomas Hayward earlier in the year at home. I think it was on St. Patrick's Day or leading up to St. Patrick's Day weekend. And I got to go out and watch that game, film some footage of that game. Good win for them.
I got your shout out. I got your shout out for them.
Ooh, okay, good.
Thank you.
Stuart
Mishko. That's your guy.
I was about to go with him. Yeah, I was about to go with him. Yeah, good game for him.
He went 4 for 4 with a run and an RBI, and went 5 innings.
5 innings. Yeah,
2 runs, 6 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Yeah, I was about to go with him. Yeah, good win from JP2. Hopefully, I don't know if they will, but they may have a slight chance of sneaking into the Skeeza playoffs. I guess we'll see.
I don't. Nobody knows. I don't think.
I guess we'll find out. They have. It's a solid team that they got. I don't know.
I agree.
They may very much so sneak in.
I don't know how many teams get in. 8.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. It's like it's double elimination, so I have no idea how many teams get in.
Yeah.
Because I think I could be wrong, but
Nobody
I think there's an upper.
knows.
Well, yeah, seriously, because I think there's an upper and a lower bracket for the tournament, so we'll see. We'll see if
it's 16, they should absolutely be in.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree. I hope. I hope it's 16 because if it is 16, there's no way that JP2 doesn't get in. I think they've had too good of a year. They've had those
But
losses
knowing
against
Skisa, they
Brentford.
might just go, well, they didn't have any region wins, and this team had one region win, so they get in.
Yeah,
who knows?
it's
I don't know what the
Ski's
metrics are.
Yeah, Skis is interesting. They sometimes baseball playoffs aren't as they just have like 8 or 10 teams sometimes in each classification
Yeah, I think
for
it's.
baseball.
I want to say it's usually like 8. I don't
Yeah.
think it's very many, but
yeah,
I don't know. But
it's
JP2's had a solid season. That is a program on the rise that is to be
absolutely, 100%.
reckoned with. They got a
Yeah.
bunch of young kids playing already, and a bunch more coming, and they got some dudes like in the younger ages. So
It's gonna be
I think
be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun next year seeing them and Christian Academy playing at the 4A level for baseball next year. I'm intrigued to see how both those teams fare in the region. Just knowing that JP2 is going to be, I believe, a much more solid team next season than they are right now. So I'm intrigued to see how both those teams play next season. But yeah, again, a real solid season for JP2, and I'm really hoping that they can somehow, some way, sneak into the playoffs and have all 3 region teams in the playoffs. It would be some.
That'd be great.
That'd be something really cool. But yeah, that's my shout out.
All right. I'm going to shout out Jackson Stanyard. Another terrific outing against a really tough Patrick Henry lineup. That's not an easy lineup to tame, but he did it again today. 11 strikeouts, 6-inning complete game. He's 3-0. How many innings? He's thrown 25 innings, given up 16 hits, 12 runs, 6 earned, 37 strikeouts and 8 walks. Hasn't hit a batter. Just really has great command. Holds runner or opponents to 176 batting average. He's been terrific on the mound this year, and he's really really good behind the dish. Really good catcher, hitting 422, 557, 578. So kind of a gap to gap guy, but just a really good ball player. I think he'll most likely get the opportunity to play at the next level. I think if that's something he wants to do, there should be people lining up to give him a chance because definitely a glue guy. So shout out to Stanyard. I'm impressed every time I see him play. So I'll give him some love. What are you boys getting into tomorrow? I'm going to the Heritage.
Yeah, that's the big guy. But we got some more important action going on in Hardyville.
Hardyville, baby.
Weekend series for the USCB Sand Sharks facing off against Flagler. And that's one you of course you're looking forward to the finale against USC Aiken, but this is the important one at home. Yeah. If you're able to take 2 against Flagler, and then depending, hopefully you see Aiken drop a couple, but if you're able to put together a strong series, gives you a chance in that final weekend. So I think,
I expect Aiken to drop all 3 to North Georgia. Like North Georgia is just so good.
Well,
I
feel
like
like they'll take one.
You can't
take 1 or 2. You can't.
Here's what they're going to do. They're going to go all in on one.
Right.
Oh,
they're going to pick
I know.
one, and they're going to piggyback their 2 best guys and try to just get one because they need every win.
If North Georgia gets 2 out of 3 against Aiken, that puts us literally at the. If we can get 2 out of 3 against Flagler, and North Georgia gets 2 out of 3 against Aiken, that literally puts us wire to wire going down to that final series.
Yeah.
That would put
that'll leave you 1 back still, and
which is fine because there's really no difference
fine.
from being 1 back or tied because of the way
going into that series you have a shot.
And there's really no difference
win.
between 1 back and 2 back because you still.
Not.
There is.
Well, because then you have to
2 back.
them.
You're dead. Never mind. 2 back. You're dead.
You're not dead.
Right,
but
1 back and but you've got to sweep. Yeah.
So it's a huge series.
There's moving parts. You just got to win as many dang games as you can at this point.
Come on, boys, we got this. Let's go.
Try to win every one.
You'll be with me this weekend on the call?
I will be there on Friday. I wish I could make it to Saturday, but I have no idea yet. But I will be there for the Sunday finale as well. So I look forward to
so you will be there for sure.
Yeah, teeing it up with you tomorrow, though. Yeah, tomorrow. Right. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Teeing it up with you, Wes. Awesome. It's been a fun season, so I am excited to have this this finale weekend, and hopefully we can finish it off on the right foot.
Right on.
Yeah, I expect
a good show.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm expecting a good turn for USV baseball. A lot of momentum after they took care of business against Claflin, getting that first home run.
Yeah,
I think that puts a little jolt of energy into this squad coming back home for this senior weekend. They've got 11 or 12 seniors to honor.
Yeah,
so including Brian Meyer and a bunch of guys who have been along this program for a number of years. So a lot to be proud of with that group, and hopefully they can get it done and pick up a couple of huge dubs to give yourself a chance to sneak in. But going to be some fun times over there to close out the baseball and softball season in Hardyville.
Yes, sir. Well, I look forward to hearing you guys on the call tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on the Sandtrack Game Day Network. Thanks to Max van Esselstyn for coming on tonight. And unfortunately, we couldn't see his smiling face, but we got to hear his recap of his day at the Heritage and talk a little May River Sharks baseball. So good times talking with Maxie. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors for all their support, making all this possible. And thanks most of all to you for showing up to listen or watch. Had a good crowd tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 10 p.m. on the LowcoSports Lowdown. For Max Arraj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.